Well, Prime Minister Mark Carney and Conservative leader Pierre Poilievre squaring off for the first time in the House of Commons today as Parliament returns from the summer break. CTV's Mike Lecouture has a look at the first day back for MPs.
The Liberals will need help from any opposition party if they want to make progress on things like bail reform and immigration changes. And let's not forget, they still have to pass a budget.
So I'm looking forward to a collaborative session in Parliament.
The Prime Minister was preaching collaboration, while many were anticipating today's confrontation.
Mr. Speaker, why is it that all of this Prime Minister's promises of yesterday turn into today's disappointments?
Conservative leader Pierre Poilievre attacked the Prime Minister's record. Mark Carney responded with a dig about Poilievre's absence from the House as he campaigned in a by-election.
He missed the largest tax cut for 22 million Canadians. He missed the cut on the GST for new homes. He missed eliminating all federal barriers to trade.
Despite all the jabs, all are calling for cross-partisan collaboration on issues like housing, bail and immigration reform, and the ongoing affordability crisis.
We're going to oppose the government where it makes sense. We are going to support things that make sense, and we are going to expose what they're not telling us.
We are a minority government, yes, but we believe that we have a mandate to proceed with major things.
It's why Liberal House Leader Steve McKinnon said his party is willing to negotiate on details, not principles.
There will be no negotiation, but we want to collaborate. What does that mean? Obey? Become Liberals? Might not happen.
It's by force of will that I ignore the fact that Mr. Carney seems to have one speed, which is fast, and one vehicle, which is a bulldozer.
Any collaboration will be tested soon, as the Liberals will need help to pass a budget this fall, one that the government says is projected to have a substantial deficit. Mike Lecouture, CTV News, Ottawa.
And joining us live from Parliament Hill is CTV's chief political correspondent, Vassy Kapelos. Vassy, thank you for being here. First day back.
Hey, Patricia, great to be with you.
You had your front bench on Power Play analyze how the long-awaited matchup went between the Prime Minister and Pierre Poilievre. Now it's your turn, if you don't mind to do that for us. What were your thoughts?
Yeah, they had a bit of a split reaction. I guess I fall somewhere in the middle. I actually thought neither looked worse for wear. I think that in the lead up to this return to Parliament, the Conservative leader had sounded a lot like he did during the election, and that set expectations that he would kind of come back to the House in exactly the same way he was against or versus Justin Trudeau when they were going back and forth. And I did not find his approach to be identical. I actually thought the tone and tenor was a little bit different. At the same time, if you think back to the Trudeau-Poilievre matchups, often the former Prime Minister, you could see, would get agitated at the line of questioning and the approach from Mr. Poilievre, and you didn't see that in the case of Prime Minister Mark Carney today. He seemed to almost be enjoying some of the back and forth, which was like had me doing a bit of a double take. So I thought that both of them emerged not necessarily worse for wear. I thought, though, that Lisa Raitt, one of my panelists, former Conservative minister, had a good point that, you know, there was almost like it was a bit too lighthearted for the seriousness of the moment. Certainly, the government is conveying to us that we're in a crisis, and you would expect that to be reflected. I think maybe today was just day one, and you will see more of that, but I do take the point as well.
Yeah, because there is some heavy stuff to come for sure, and you heard there in Mike's piece a lot of the leaders talking about collaboration and maybe not being so keen to collaborate, and that test will certainly come up very quickly. The Prime Minister's first budget will be a topic of conversation until that is delivered. And I'm wondering, Vassy, with the Trump tariff trade situation playing a factor here, all of that, what it contains, does that all give the Prime Minister a pass on this ballooning deficit that we've certainly had hints that is coming our way?
Well, definitely not for me. Nobody deserves a pass for anything. I think it deserves, to get some analysis and to see the degree to which those Trump tariffs have impacted our economy, which they have. To be clear, the second quarter saw a 1.6% contraction in the GDP, which is very sizable for Canada and relatively greater than other countries because of the nature of our trade with the United States and because we are so dependent on them as an export market. So certainly, I think it will change the way in which the budget is formed, and it means that there will be a very big deficit. But there are other reasons there might be a big deficit, and they revolve around spending choices that the government will have to make. And on that aspect, I think scrutiny will be well-deserved. It will come from journalists like myself. It will come from the opposition. And I think it's even going to come from the government itself. I think there's a lot of discussion back and forth behind the scenes about, how fiscally, quote unquote, responsible they're going to be. The word austerity was thrown around a couple of weeks ago by the Prime Minister. What that ends up looking like, and for our audience right now, many of whom are public servants, what it means for the public service. We've seen different answers from different ministers in a matter of hours over the weekend about whether it'll be actual cuts or attrition or how much they're going to spend less on the public service. No clear answers yet. So I do think that's a spot to watch.